I'm still kind of new, but I hope that we get to play together this season.
Yeah, possible. We'll see.
Yeah, had a pretty ugly run the other night on some mythics.
Oh, really?
Not standard.
Yeah, you're new, so it's okay.
I hold myself to a higher standard, man. There's some stuff you just, it's not good.
It takes a long time to get good at this game. So, unless you have other MMO experience.
No, I mean, yeah. I guess 10 years ago, tanking and helping run a guild doesn't really apply too much these days.
It does more than you think it does, but it's the game takes different skill set than it did back then. But if you really understood the concepts a long time ago, then this is just an extension of those concepts. So
Yeah, I took that kind of like beating on the chin and I pugged a few mythics and people were like, "Oh, a feral druid, this is awesome, let's go kill shit." And I'm like thinking to myself, you don't know me, but we actually did really good. And I've just been taking the mythics at like low level pluses and kind of standing back, not worrying about doing too much damage, just watching the mechanics, and uh that really helped me out, I think.
yeah,
So I'm hoping with like a new season and getting a fresh start that I'll be on a better playing level versus, like a whole raid and all the delves and all the dungeons and like it's like 40 bosses and 1,000 mechanics.
it'll it'll take you two expansions to get back into just
Yeah.
the knowledge part of this. So don't don't rush it, man. It takes time.
Well, that's cool. It's nice that like I was able to ask about like a skill like Nature's Vigil and get like a really intelligent macro that kind of challenged me on how I'm going to use that skill. So I'm happy to be playing with this guy, you guys. It's good stuff.
That macro is having that macro makes players jump up in skill level so much.
Well, I took that and I looked at it and I was like, this is the same kind of thing I want to do with like Ursul's Vortex and Typhoon. And it's
Right.
the same kind of thing I want to do with like Prowl, Stealth, Dash. Like
Right.
I can combine all of this into like a single button kind of,
Right.
and really, yeah. So
You're
I
welcome.
need to do the
You're
test
welcome.
dummy 2 billion damage thing.
Right. Just understand that things like that are why people are bad at this game. Okay, for a very long time, and they don't know why they're bad. Okay,
Uh,
like there's people that play this game and they wonder how I could do that, or is that possible? And it is possible, but until you go and figure it out, you'll sit there and you'll play this game the same way every day for the rest of your playing days.
yeah, I pugged a mythic today just to get some experience in Necrotic Wake, and my friend started just blowing me up when she got home from work, and I'm trying to reply to her while running like a mythic Necrotic Wake, and I'm like, I can have this conversation and still participate in this dungeon if I just streamline my UI so that I can like have a better conversation. So my priority was like talking to her, but I'm in a group with 4 other people.
Yeah,
And so like even that like made me think, okay, what can I do to like make my rotation easier right now so that I can have this conversation, which isn't ideal, right? Like you want me to
you
be focused.
you play World of Warcraft, you don't have friends.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, you need to like I know it's kind of rough, but some people on the higher end take keys a little bit more serious, so you might want to,
100%.
yeah,
And I've only been doing like keys at very low level, like 1 to 4, 1 to 3. I was talking to Greg Coolwhip about that tonight. Like when Challenger mode came out, like that's kind of the level I was at when I could just like switch between specs and I had entire gear specs and I knew every single drop in the game and how it would benefit any class and like what class everybody was. Yeah, I'm not there, man. That was 10 years ago. So, you guys are starting to raid next week. I talked to Bolgath tonight and was able to like say hi to him.
yeah.
Um, I don't like. I want to raid with you guys, but I don't want to be a drag, you know. And
I think at your at you, there's a lot you need to do before you think about rating. So,
huh,
I'm not
this is
saying
cool. I'm
your skill level's probably there, but it's probably rusty. And I think I don't know, but I'm not the raid lead, so he can make that decision. But week one, I wouldn't consider. You know, I don't know if
I
you can put up
appreciate that. I
if you
mean,
can put up
you're
numbers,
the
sure.
person that I'd be rating for. I mean, my job is to like be good for other people. So, like, what do you think I can work on?
I don't know. I would have to see like um, I would have to raid with you basically to see what you're doing and what you're not doing. Um,
Yeah.
what I'm saying is everyone that comes back to this game, if they haven't been playing MMOs in another place, they're going to be um, they're going to be tunnel visioning a lot. You're going to get you if you go into a heroic next week or on Tuesday, you will get punished probably unless you're just
Well,
an
it was
off.
actually tunnel visioning that got me killed in the mythics I was running. So you're
Right,
totally right there.
right. So like, as a returning player, you need to work on Mythic. Mythic Plus will be your best place for you because that is where you're going to learn the most. Okay,
Yeah.
you need to, in my opinion, you need to run this season. You need to run as much Mythic Plus as you can, and then here, I don't know when. I think you need to run LFR. Do you know what that is?
Of course.
Okay. Do you know what normal is and heroic and mythic? Okay.
So, bro, like, yeah, I like started playing 20 years ago. Like, I used to be a guild leader in a 25-man heroic guild.
Right.
Like, I led challenge modes. Like, I had 3 alts. I had a separate alt in a 10-man guild. So,
Right.
like, I used to have like a lot of that experience.
Okay. Well,
It just was 10 years old.
so the way you need to, being an older player, um, and having all this knowledge that you have already, and I apologize if it comes off that I just don't know what knowledge you have and what you don't have. Now I
Well, if I've
understand.
played with you and I've died to a bunch of bosses and jumped off fucking spider webs, then I think it's fair to assume that I'm an idiot. I felt really stupid after playing the other night.
Right, right. And as everyone that comes back to the game after a long layoff would, I felt dumb coming back to the game for an extended amount of time before I finally figured that out again and was able to get back into the groove. Um, Basically, not tunnel visioning. Don't look at your keyboard when you're doing stuff like that. Know the fights as a you tank. You said you tanked a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so information about tanks go a long way. Um,
As a main tank, like for my guild, like I was like the tank as a bear tank. And even then, like there would be certain fights I was like, you know what? I think we should have a Death Knight and a Pally tank. I'm gonna either switch to my alt or I'm just gonna sit out and watch you guys. And like I don't think I'm the best tank for this fight.
the
Uh
best advice I can give you is for the way to look at everything about rating is that heroic is the new normal. is what normal used to be. Mythic is the new heroic, what heroic used to be. Okay.
I was wondering about that. Like, do
Yeah.
you guys just start on heroic and skip normal entirely when the raid starts next
Well,
week?
this is the first time I'm raiding with these guys, so I don't know, but yes, normally you want to go from Mythic the previous season to Heroic the next. That doesn't mean
Yeah.
you have to. That just means that's what the top tier players do. And pretty much what you want is you want to replace Mythic of the last season with Hero Gear of the next patch. You can get by with less, but you really don't want to do that. You don't want to like get too low gear. You don't want to upgrade multiple times for multiple reasons. Um,
Yeah.
until your UI and stuff set up, man, what I would suggest you do definitely is run as many Mythic Plus you can. Get as comfortable with your character as you can, doing the campaign and stuff. Get all your Valor Stones. You'll get that ring out the Siren Isle, okay? And then
All
what?
that's way done. Like my eye level
Okay,
is like 618 now.
okay. Um, so most people walking into raid next week are going to be in the 630s. Okay,
Yeah,
640s.
that's from Mythics.
Okay, but that so 620 eye level, I would suggest you do LFR, which is a looking for group thing. You'll just use your looking for group um, group finder button, and then what you can do for normal is just search for a normal group. I don't know if they run normal or not during the week, but you should easily be able to do that at 620 eye level. Um,
Yeah. I've been using looking for group to find certain mythics and just running those to learn the fights and the mechanics. And I guess that's all going to be irrelevant next week.
yes.
Um, but it really helped, man. Like I went from thinking, oh, I can't do a Mythic 5 to like, okay, like I just top damage on this Mythic 4 and like we can do this.
Right. So
When I'm battle resing a newbie tank that's apologizing left and right and stuff, like
right.
that's great.
So yeah, that's where I would start, man. And then give yourself a couple weeks of that. Like don't be too hard on yourself. Don't push too hard. You know, if you got the time, cool. But it, dude, it takes a while to get back into this game and at a high level. So
Yeah, when Greg got me back in, he was like, "Oh, it's a really chill group and you'll have fun and like yeah, we raid and stuff, but like I'm meeting you guys and I'm like, "Oh, this is cool." Like when I was like helping run a 25-man guild, it was a full-time job, a second job, recruiting, managing the roster, making sure everybody's up to gear, having patience, running alt runs with people to get them geared up, teaching them about their classes, uh, just like making sure we're farming consumables for everybody and all that stuff. It was a full-time job running a 25-man guild.
been there, done that. So
I remember like when I was trialing out for a Black Temple guild back in that day, like that shit was amazing and it was so cool. It was like, the best people on the server and there's only two guilds running Black Temple.
right.
It was good times. But even like with Ascent, like we got US like top 10 kills and like we were going for like US first.
Right,
So
of course.
I feel like I can get back to that. I just need to there's a
Conceptually,
lot
it's
of
the same. I do believe the skill level cap is higher now than it was back then. Just because,
100%. I mean, like the necrotic waste, you have a single pull with more mechanics than an entire fucking set of bosses did in the raid before.
right?
Like the necrotic wake, there's so many mechanics in a single pull.
Yes. So there's a lot of the game's changed a lot as you've seen. So
Yeah.
for better or worse, I'm not, you know. There's some things, obviously, there's some things that we really, really enjoy about it, and some things we're not so cool about. But, So just baby steps, man. Don't push yourself too hard. Rating heroic will punish you if you're not on your game early. Like now, if you do end of season content when everything's nerfed and everything's when we're buffed and the thing's nerfed, it starts to meld into like heroic starts to feel like normal. Mythic starts to feel like heroic, and so it starts to feel a lot easier because it is. You just have less.
Yeah, as a tank, I used to run people through stuff without a healer, and it would just be like raffle stomp,
Right.
Like tonight, I have until Monday to like try and get that heroic raid achievement. And I was like, can I pug that raid as heroic? I've only done it once on regular. So I was like watching a bunch of videos tonight on heroic, and I think between now and Monday, I'm definitely gonna join a pug to try and complete that raid on heroic. At least that might give me some indication.
I think your item level suggests that you will be good in LFR and normal for now, for at least the first couple
LFR
weeks.
normal is just absolutely stupid. There's no mechanics. Nothing hurts you.
Well,
I've done LFR on that raid, and it was just
right.
like really stupid.
Right, LFR is that way, but normal is kind of it's a harder version of that, but you're gonna have to get your eye level up a little bit for that. So,
Copy that.
so
Yeah,
I
I feel
mean,
like I'm kind of stuck on my eye level right now until like the season starts because I can't really upgrade anything else.
yeah, but maybe you're just like, uh, this is coming from me watching people come back to this game, and they set the bar too high for themselves, and then they go to heroic and suffer, or they and and it's noticeable. What I don't want that to be you, but I also want you to be competitive, and I want you to enjoy your time playing. So
I appreciate that.
so I don't know what you want out of this game when you come back to it. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, that's a good question. Ultimately, I guess, like I don't want to play a single player game. I want to play an MMO and I want to challenge myself and experience endgame content, but I also want to like be good for the team I play with. So I don't want to like ever like gimp you guys or hold you back. Like I guess in some of the mythics where I did stupid shit, it was easy to laugh off, but
Right,
like in a raid, like no way, man. I'm not doing that to people.
right.
I'm not wasting a battle res or like dying and like
So, well, yes, I agree with play style. Those are all play style examples. Um, Another objective example to this is you just being 10 eye level less than what you are right now.
but isn't this gonna squash it? Like aren't we all gonna kind of get equalized? Like the first week, like the damage meters are gonna be skewed for everybody that has a 639 eye level. You guys have been farming mythics. But like after the first week, isn't that gonna kind of normalize?
So in the first week, if we get heroic gear, we should bump up 3 to 5 item level. It, so if you grab 1 or 2 pieces of gear, you might do the same, but you would have to work harder in N plus. You see, because you're starting out at a disadvantage with less gear, you're going to have to work harder than everyone else to get the same eye level, right?
Yeah, and with the loot council and everything, you guys are going to want to make sure that the loot goes to the people that you know and that are proven solid players for specific roles in the raid. So that makes sense too. So I won't be gearing up super fast if I somehow got a raid slot.
Right. So, I mean, if you listen, like for me anyway, um, people that pull numbers, they pull numbers and they can raid with anybody. That's great. But what I'm saying is that 10 eye level is 10 eye level, and when you don't have best in slot, key items, your DPS is then going to suffer even more. Not because of your play style, not because of the player you are at all, it's not going to matter what you do in the raid. You don't have the trinket, and the other guy has the trinket. You're and 10 eye level above you, which puts you down even more than 10 eye level. He doesn't
100%.
he doesn't just have 10 eye level on you. He has the best trinket in the game, which gives him 50% more DPS than if he didn't have it. So this is like, so he turned a linear increase into an exponential increase, and the only way you can get around that is grind harder.
Yeah, for me, like with the new raid, like my best in slot is going to be 2-piece tier set for the double set from season 1 and season 2. And then they're going to want to like the right slot. I don't want to put season 2 tier in the wrong slot, and they're going to want to put the right tier in the right hands of the right people. And there's a lot of really talented leather players. So like, yeah, even getting that 4-piece double tier set is going to be like very difficult.
Yeah, I mean, and then you look at the loot counts and stuff. So, which is perfectly fine, And I'm glad you see that. That you're obviously, because if you just look at leather now, there's what, 1, 2, 3. There's 3 other DPS that might. I don't know what their stats are and what their best in slots are, but then you have a resto druid, you have a healer, and well, no, because no, they don't. You have one.
My thinking is you gear up your tanks and your healers first. Like that's it. That's always been the way I ran Loot Council.
Right.
And there's a certain like wiggle room in that. Like there's best in slot. Like, oh my gosh, this person really needs that because that's their absolute class best in slot. But like otherwise, you gear up your tanks and your healers first, and then you kind of figure it out.
Right. I think it's subjective. So.
Huh. Yeah, well, if you're always gearing up your tanks at the expense of somebody else, you're gonna make a very cranky raid.
I think that the Race to the World First has proven time and time again that you rarely send gear to healers.
Huh. Rarely. Interesting.
You make them heal because the reason why is because you want to kill the boss faster, so they heal less.
This is actually something that I found like researching has changed since I played, is that healers and tanks have a lot more oh shit buttons than they used to. And healers
So think of a tank being, if you have 1 life left and you're alive, that's all you need. Okay. You only have to be that survivable to have 1 life left. Okay. Nothing else matters. It doesn't matter as long as you can survive every blow and get healed past that. Now, obviously, there's a problem. Like, there's a problem with that if the healer's mana runs out or if they can't heal you. But that's a different problem than the tank surviving, right?
Yeah, okay. That reminds me, like when I was tanking like Heroic Syndragosa back in the day or something. Like, I knew which healers I had and what kind of skill level they were at. I knew which healers lagged on dropping a bomb on me or shielding me or giving me a bubble. And so I would change my tank style depending on which healers I knew I had in the raid. And if I had certain healers, I would play way more aggressive. And if I had other healers, I would be more vocal and be like, hey, 5 seconds, I need a bomb, Or so like who my healers were changed how I tanked.
You get it, man. You understand the bigger picture of this. You just need to get your you need to get back in the groove, like I was saying. So
I'm excited to do that. I really want to be able to raid with you guys, but like I said, I don't want to hold anybody back or be that person.
I think for the reasons why we said it, you need to shy away from her. Like, you either need to, if they allow you to raid, go for it. If they don't allow you to raid, and they sit you out, they might bring you in for the first couple bosses for one reason or another, because the first bosses are going to be pretty easy. They usually are anyway, as long as you can do somewhat mechanics.
Well, yeah, I've watched all the videos for the first 5 bosses, and sounds like next Tuesday is going to be some Mythic runs. And I feel like that'll be a really good trial for me. Like, you guys, like, I don't know if you guys will bring me to Mythics or what, but if I do get to run Mythics with you on Tuesday, then that'll be a good chance for you guys to see kind of where I'm at and who I am and make an informed decision.
Again, you're going to be limited on your eye level. Like, and I'm not putting everything on eye level here. I think people's skill can outshine eye level. Like, you could be an amazing feral druid and just blow people out of the water, but you're going to be scaled less because you just don't have the gear, like I said prior. So
Well, I do watch some Feral Druids streams and like some YouTube videos and stuff, and I gotta say, like, I am not on the level of some of the Feral Druids that I'm watching videos of.
yeah, just don't
Like,
get down because you're playing the players around here. They're they're upper level, so and they've been playing for a long time. I can tell by just playing with them. Um,
yeah, how did you come to this guild? How did you find yourself a part of it?
just randomly found a pug, played with them, saw a good group of people. Was like, okay, let's see what these guys can do.
I
Um,
think I actually saw a character note about you then. Like somebody said, "Oh, he joined a pug and he was really polite and nice," and so we invited him.
yeah, yeah, that's pretty
That
much
was
what.
you.
That's pretty much me.
Nice.
So, but I've raid leaded for a long time. I've played this game for a long time. I know my way around it. I know the ins and outs. So, and just I like to play with other people that have the same mindset as me, which is competitive, and I want to not only do mechanics but um, down bosses at the highest level, basically.
I feel like I share with you some of that. And the guilds that I was a part of in the past, like being a guild leader, like not a guild leader, but like a guild council or whatever. We had like we were always family friendly, and so real life came first. But we were doing progressive and challenging content and getting like US first ranks and like ranking like eighth kill in the US on a certain boss on heroic or something. So I feel like I was able to like kind of maintain that 10 years ago.
Yeah, and like I said, the concept, the bigger concept, will apply here. The thing is you gotta get your fingers working again. You got to understand your class again to the level of which you once did. Once you do
Yeah, I
that,
installed.
that takes
Huh.
time. That takes time and repetition.
I installed LVUI and like they had for Feral Druids like using 2.5 bars basically, and everything else is keybound, and your UI is super clean. And I was like, wow, that's really not going to work for me. I have like 10 abilities that I need to figure out how to keybind and put on hidden bars or just whatever. So, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of like, UIs take time. Like I've spent entire days and didn't play the game, but I was logged in because I was messing with UI and stuff. I still had
Was
UI
that you
set up.
that said you did like 1 billion damage on test dummies the other day? Target dummies?
I mean, I do test on target dummies a lot. Everyone should.
Yeah.
So, because it's a really good way to. You're not gonna know what your damage is otherwise. A lot of this is trial and error. Um, so yeah, just so
Cool. Well, Bolgath gave me a really cool website to look at some talent trees and specs that were a little bit more refined, I think, and detailed than Icy Veins and Wowhead were giving me.
oh yeah.
I'm playing with it.
Where'd he send you?
Let me see. GDs. Let's see. T.co. Pardon me. I'm a little bit of an idiot. I bookmarked it.
Unorganized, so we'll go with that.
Have you played nonstop for 20 years, or
No,
like what's your history?
Took a big break. I played a little bit in vanilla. Didn't really get hooked, I guess, till Burning Crusade. Um, so I started raiding in Burning Crusade. Played Wrath. Played Kata. Played Mop. Um,
In Burning Crusade, what kind of level were you rating at?
I mean,
Like that was such a different time. Like you had to have resist to even be considered to raid Black Temple, and then you get to Sumo Plateau, and oh my god, even just the trash runs in that place were
yeah.
insane.
So I basically started tanking, and I had a lot of I went through my new raider phase during Burning Crusade. Didn't really understand it. Didn't just was happy to go in there and be like, "What is this?" kind of thing. Um, and then I did do Sunwell a few times, but it was at the end of the season. It's kind of easier. Everybody kind of helped
Cromwell
out.
got nerfed hard.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it
mean
was probably that. And so as a newer player, newer raider, I went through and did that content, and then my rating, uh, my basically rating journey as a better player after you get the rust and you get re-educated about how rating works versus the rest of the game. Um, Wrath of the Lich King in Nexoramus was where I really started spreading my wings, and then it really took off during Kata and really took off during Mop, to where I really started being the player I am today. Um,
what did you play in Nax? I mean Wrath of the I mean hmm
Burning
like
Crusade.
Firelands. I was asking like okay, like killing the Lich King. I mean like that was pretty hard for my guild on heroic.
It
Like
was hard for everybody.
not getting carried off the platform.
Hardest,
But then,
hardest, hardest thing ever. Hardest boss ever for the content
and I'm
at the
so
day.
proud of that. Like when we did that, like 25 people, like that was one of the coolest screenshots, you know? But like managing that guild, we had to have 30 people because you needed 5 people on the bench because you never know who's going to show up, right? So to field a 25-man raid, we had to have at least 30 people. And then you got that person that just got the weapon, and then he's going to like not show up for the next 2 raids. And then
Same
like
problem the of today. Those problems. See, those problems haven't changed. So
that's
you're
funny.
nah. It's just people, man. Just just people. Um, so, but yeah, Lich King was hard. Um, I cleared it a long time. Yeah, I did many pulls of that. Actually, I didn't even kill it when it was new content because it was so new. We actually went back in Kata and killed it as a group because
Nice.
um, I just got way better at the game after being there for a year, basically, and just going through that. And I found a really good group of people together, and most of we cleared a lot of heroic level bosses when other people just weren't clearing content. So
Yeah.
we went far, and then in Mop, then we did the same. So and then I took time off. I didn't play from the end of Mop all the way till season 3 of Dragonflight.
Oh wow, yeah. All right. Yeah, I finished mob, like we were doing heroics and stuff, and then Warlords of Draenor. I went to a 10-man guild from the 25, and I found that was really nice because it was like everybody was on the same level. Um, at least we all showed up for each other. Um, but yeah, that was a long time ago. It's really crazy to think.
Yeah. Uh, I think loyalty's changed in this. I mean, in the game, loyalty, you don't have to be that way anymore because you can pug. So I think a lot of people choose not to be in a guild, and they choose just to a la carte everything because they can.
Yeah, most of my mythics now are coming from pugging, and it's just like I'm looking for pugs and doing mythics
Right.
like with random people, and I'll put in my note like, "Hey, I'm a beginner," or "New player learning," and they can choose to take me or not. And I'm
Right.
finding that like that's really working out for me.
Oh, that's good.
But I feel like I gotta put it out there for a while, like, "Hey, new player."
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I don't know all the mechanics. There's so many bosses
Yeah.
and so many
Yeah,
mechanics.
you'll get a lot of blame if you don't. So
And even like running old shit like Grim Batol, I mean, like that was relevant content when I was playing.
same
And
here.
I go back there now and I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
It's still a good
In
dungeon.
Mythic? Yeah, it's fun. But even then, like how you use your bombs mattered.
Oh, right.
Like, don't bomb the stupid shit. Like, so
Right.
yeah.
And if everybody does it right, then that's a very easy
You don't even
part.
you eliminate poles. Like
Right.
you seriously have like nothing to pull because it's all dead.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
amazing.
Um, but you, so there's a good thing and a bad thing about running because one thing you're with a guild and you can do the higher level content and you can do it quicker. But the thing is sometimes that doesn't always work out. So, and sometimes people want to play with other people, and also people's attitudes get in the way sometimes. So, and I think it's easier. Pugs are beautiful for the fact that you can run content and never probably see these people again, you know. But it's also a bad thing because um, that promotes people to treat people poorly. So
I there was actually an article about that, like I said the other night from Blizzard, where they said they never intended Mythic 10s to be a starting point. And so many people ended up like geared or thinking they're ready to go or whatever, that they're just like doing these mythics and they haven't got. Yeah, like I said about tanking, if you don't know your group, if you don't know your healers, if you don't know who's interrupting, if you don't have that time for conversation, if you're not saying, "Hey, I'm gonna get this interrupt, you get that interrupt," like that stuff matters. And then you all interrupt the same thing, and then three of you are on cooldown.
well, you get it though, so because you've been there before, you know you're like me, like you know the level of communication, not just communication, but trust that I know you, my right hand man over here, has it. You know, and if he doesn't have it, he's going to tell me, and then I can do it. So um,
Yeah.
you, we came from the same era and played this game without add-ons to the point. Well,
Dude, oh my gosh, before add-ons. Seriously,
but
that means a lot.
I had to talk it out. We all had to talk it out. That was our add-on, talking it out, and people don't realize that, and they rely on add-ons, and I rely on add-ons a lot now. But um, one bad thing about pugging is the fact that I don't have to think for you guys. Like I don't have to think for other people a lot. Um, like I feel like as a raid leader, you have to think for people sometimes, and like calling out things and just overall everything.
Yeah, as a main tank and like a guild leader, like I got so used to just staring at the boss's nuts. Like all I ever see is that. And I kind of really am looking forward to getting back into the game where I'm not tanking and I can like stand back. Like certain fights, I'm like, you know what? They don't need me to DPS right now. I'm gonna just like zoom out so I don't get hit by like an AoE on the boss, and I'm gonna watch what happens, and I'm gonna learn these mechanics by watching. And I know my DPS isn't gonna look awesome, but like that's been good and healthy. I stay alive better.
Right. Well, stay. Okay, so everything's nerfed right now. So understand that Tuesday everything becomes hard again. So your everything that feels good now is going to feel awful Tuesday.
But it's gonna be like I'm gonna be there with the same people. Like we're all
True,
starting over.
true. And you'll scale, and they'll scale too. So, so you should be fine, man. You have enough experience under your belt that you have to just regain your muscle memory, regain some WoW wit, as I would want to call it, WoW wit or WoW intelligence, I guess. But you already have a lot of that into you because you did it for so long. So
Well, I kind of set a goal for myself that, like, by next Tuesday, I have a certain amount of hours that I'm going to spend on target dummies, and I'm going to have my UI refined. That if I signed up for all the raids, and you guys can choose to take me whatever, but like, come Tuesday, I'm gonna have spent like enough time that I'm not gonna be making excuses for myself, and
yeah,
then it'll just be like, oops, like I suck.
right. Um, like I said, I'm not raid lead, so but I would if I were raid leader and I saw you walking up in 620 gear, I would be hesitant without knowing your background or anything. I'd be hesitant to bring you just for heroic progression wise. Because if you get 3 pieces of gear in normal, you'll be up in the 630s doing good damage. Okay.
That's totally cool. I appreciate that. And like I would like to be able to watch while you guys are raiding while I'm also looking for a different group and getting that gear. What are you playing in the upcoming raid? What role are you?
Rep paladin, and then I'll
Okay, cool.
be prot for Mythic Plus. So
Nice. So you have a shit ton of damage, a shit ton of survivability. You have a lot of utility. Um, you're looking out for the raid. You're looking out for yourself. And then in Mythic Plus, you're going to be able to tank the crap out of things because you have the eye level
right,
and the survivability.
right.
Nice.
So I mean that's what paladins do. So
Yeah, well, I appreciate it, man. And like, I'm not fragile. Like, if you want to tell me like I fucked up or I suck at something, like, you're not gonna hurt my feelings.
no,
I really appreciate like the conversation that you just had, which is like legit. I asked Greg, and he's like, I feel like it's not fair to put my friend in that position, to tell me that. Like, he doesn't want to tell me that.
understand, man. If anybody will tell you the truth, or if tell you the way it is, and I've told so many people, I've kicked so many people from raid, and when I go, it's not personal, but you don't have the gear to make the numbers happen, because at the end of
Dude,
the day, these numbers kill bosses, and it's not that you're not doing enough. It's like together the raid isn't doing enough, and you're like the last like two, and you need to be up here, because if you're not, then what happens is damage isn't going out in the right area
bro,
or
and
doing
then your
so.
healers are stressed, and then you're
Right,
stressing like all the cooldowns. The whole
right,
fucking team is fucked.
right.
And it's like, as like even a tank or a raid leader, I used to be like looking at logs after every raid and discussing it with the other guild leaders and raid leaders, and we'd be like, okay, so like for feral druids, this person's rake is 2% lower than it needs to be. Like they're not keeping their rake up. They're not refreshing their rip at the right time. And, like you can tell that like overall this is like a 6% damage loss, and 6% was the difference between a boss and a wipe.
Right.
Like And I get it, man. And I fucking hate that I'm that person now. It sucks. I want to go back to where I used to be,
you're
but I'm not there. I
you're
get
growing
it.
pain, baby steps, man. Baby steps.
Yeah.
You know, you have the knowledge, you have the wow wit, okay? You have you have that instinct built into you because you played before. The fact that you're even saying this stuff without me even talking about it means that you were on that level back then, okay? You understand these concepts at a higher level, so your knowledge base is there. We just have to get your muscle memory back into it. So once you get that, and once you get some eye level, then we can start uh, sculpting your personal game and kind of get you narrowed to where we can min max you. You know what I mean? Like
Well,
we
that's
can.
cool. I feel like this is a really cool guild to be in then because I can just hang out and chill and run my delves and do my mythics and like keep gearing up and then like eventually maybe I'll be able to help you guys out
just
and
just understand that if you walk into something that you're 10 eye level lower than what everyone else is, you will not only struggle, but people will just not bring you, kind of thing. And it's
well
not
this
it's
is
not
exactly
personal. It's the fact that you didn't put in the work. You know, you haven't yet. Even though you will, you just haven't. So
no, I got into like a normal raid because Cool Whip like was like, hey, like I couldn't get into a raid and I told him, oh man, nobody will take me. He's like, hold up a sec, let me group with you. And then like we grouped up together
yep,
and he's like, hey, you're taking me and you're bringing him.
yep,
And they're like, oh shit. They fucking brought him
right,
and they let me go.
yeah,
And that was like amazing.
yeah,
And all the
because
mythics I've done, it's just like you guys have carried the shit out of me.
right.
So, yeah, I really appreciate this guild. You
So
guys are cool.
just
It's like,
so and you're talking about the end of an expansion. Of course, they're going to do that. Okay, that's fine. But the thing is during progression, you can't ask them to do any more like that because
of
during
course,
progression, you know the margin of error. It's so low, so very
it's like
very
a
low.
fraction of a second in whether or not you get a cast off.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. I'm excited to come back to the game. I don't know, man. This is fun.
It is. It is. I just see where you were where I was a year and a half ago. You're back in the game. You have all this knowledge. You have all these. You have the memories associated with it too, but you gain the knowledge of the concepts, which still apply today in a different way. You know.
Well, I don't know if you're into lore, but I was leveling up an evoker, and that has you talking to Dormu and all these dragons, like, and I was just enjoying the shit out of leveling up that character and seeing all the cutscenes and learning about how the lore has evolved.
Yeah.
Like, I was just playing that 2 nights ago, and I was just like, this is amazing. All these dragons that used to be just like NPCs, like, I just love the shit out of that. So I'm still on
Right.
that level.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, you don't lose that. It's like riding a bike, but the thing is, the faces and the people around you change, and also the classes change. But the same concept applies, you know. And we had a interesting setup because we didn't have add-ons, so we just had to call everything out. You know, we didn't have all these add-ons to
Right.
help us um, go through all this stuff. So we had to be communicated and we had to talk. Where you can basically half the raid will just turn off their mic, you know.
So actually,
So
after I fucked up in a couple of mythics the other night, I disabled my add-ons and I turned off weak auras and DBM and everything. And I just said, I'm gonna do some Mythic Plus without add-ons.
yeah,
And I did so much better. And I was just like focused and learning and watching and paying attention. And no add-on was telling me interrupt, interrupt.
right.
Like, and I just had so much fun. So tonight I re-enabled some add-ons, but I think that it was really nice for me to get back to that play style of not having the game tell me what to do.
Unfortunately, to play at the highest levels, um, you need them. Unfortunately,
Oh hell yeah. In a raid, fuck yeah. But like for me learning like I said, I only chose like Mythic 2, 3, 4. I chose very low level Mythics where it wasn't gonna be that tough,
Yeah.
especially after the end of season 1. Like Mythic 4 is like Mythic 1, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So I was able to get away with some stuff.
Right. So, all right, man. So cool. Well, nice meeting you. I'm glad I was able to help you the other night with that macro. So
Yeah, and you texted me and I didn't get it. I don't know what was wrong with me that night. I got your message on Discord and I was like gonna reply to you and I was like, that's embarrassing.
not really.
It came a little bit late.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know why that happened, but
But I do hope to get to play with you
you
and
will.
I
You
hope
will,
to get to
man.
show you that I'm not a total knuckle dragon mouth breather.
Just just like everything, just grind it out. You know, just stay patient. This patch, man, just stay patient. Your turn will come, and you'll get in there. It might not be the first couple weeks, but you'll get in there a little bit after. Like you shouldn't. Don't. The thing is you felt what progression feels like, and you know the grind behind it. Understand that it'll still be there in a month, in 2 months, and it will feel just the same as it would on Tuesday, except for you're not ready for it on Tuesday. You'll be ready for it in a month. You know, that's the way I see. But you can grab some gear and you'll be fine.
Copy that. Yeah, even like on the Tuesday runs, like if you guys are doing like a leather run, a mail run, a plate run, like I don't think I'm the right person for you guys because you guys just need to power through that, get that shit done, get yourselves gear, and get ready to go. So
I
I
agree.
appreciate that.
Like okay,
Put up with
I'm
me.
I'm kind of in the same instance with my alt. Okay, my alt is a mage, and I'm 620. I for me to even suggest me bringing this to a heroic progression rate on day one is, to me, absolutely awful. An awful idea. Okay, it just is. Is it? Will it happen? Yeah, it could happen. But do I think I'm holding the raid back? Yes, I do. So
That's exactly how I felt. Like I felt like I'm gonna sign up for everything just so you guys see that I'm interested, that I'm here, that I want to be a part of it. But I don't I'm not gonna enchant all my blues, like for my 616 eye level, I'm not gonna enchant the shit out of it if I hope to replace it soon.
right,
So like I'm not coming fully enchanted, fully geared, like so I know that I'm not where you guys want your raiders to be.
right, and 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 the fact that you know that is, you know what people are looking for. You understand, you see it, you've been there, man. You just have to work a little bit more, get some more experience under your belt, and you'll be fine. So
Honestly, that's exciting because it gives me a path forward. Like sitting around with my thumb up my ass wondering what am I going to do? Like that's not fun. But
yeah,
like okay, maybe one day I can like see some of this end game content and be part of a group. That's kind of what I want to work towards. I, I don't think I'm there right now.
you can. It's just baby steps, man. Don't take leaps. Like we don't leap here, we baby step, because you're probably still trying to figure out your UI a little bit. You're trying to set everything up because the game is completely different than a long time ago. So
I have way too many bars on my screen right now.
well,
Like
everyone
so
does.
yeah.
Everyone does,
Well,
man.
right on, my dude. I know it's Friday and you said you want to go, so I won't keep you.
Yeah,
But hell
I
yeah.
need to go to bed. So
Thank you for the conversation. I appreciate you, brother.
yeah, I'll see you around. See you tomorrow. Okay.
Right on.
All right. See ya.
Mythics tomorrow. Run me through some shit. Just kidding.
I don't know about that. I've already ran mine for the week, so
Yeah.
I'm not going to touch them till Tuesday probably. If I do
Sounds good.
if I do go into a dungeon, it'll be a low level dungeon just to kind of run through some stuff. But dude, I'm gonna run through so many dungeons this season. Like I ran through probably 120. I don't know. I'd have to look at my thing, but
Yeah, never
like
mind mount farming.
Like,
But
yeah, that.
honestly, I mean, like, enjoy your time off. Like, you get a break right now. This is like your spring break. Enjoy it.
Yeah, yeah,
Sounds-
yeah. And so I just did the campaign twice. I did it on my Pally. I did it on my Mage. So to get my Valor Stones back up, um, and because they took those away last week, so yeah, we're gonna get ready for a good push. It's gonna be fun.
That's hard for me. Like, I can like use my Valor Stones and upgrade a bunch of gear, and like, I don't know what it'll get me to, but like, I don't want to upgrade Undermine gear. I'm gonna wait, right, and just
Uh,
hoard my resources.
don't feel bad about upgrading uh, at your level. Don't feel bad about upgrading Undermine Veteran gear. Okay, don't, but you might want to not, you might want to stay away from upgrading like explorer and adventurer gear. Okay, those are traps.
Copy that.
Okay, just note. um there's some other things when we get there, um but I can give you a couple more hints on some stuff, but less is more. um because at the highest levels, every gear you replace you have to re-enchant, and that costs money. So
Well, at my level, if I get one replacement, it's gonna catapult my eye level so
yeah,
much, you
like
know? So
are you full enchanted and gemmed right now?
no, I'm not,
Yeah, that's the
sadly.
other part of your problem. So like,
But
not only
my
are you
gear is my gear is constantly getting replaced. I'm constantly
right,
upgrading my gear. I didn't
right,
have season one best in slot to
right,
enchant.
right.
So I'm not gonna spend 20,000 gold on something that I'm gonna replace next week.
Well, at the highest level of progression, gold doesn't matter. So
Yeah.
just letting you know.
Copy that. Copy that. I came back to the game with like 40,000 gold, so
No, I get
I'm
it.
already in trouble.
I'm You need to farm about 10 times that, probably.
Yep.
I mean, seriously. Get a profession, have some fun. And maybe this will be a patch that you look into professions a little bit more.
Well, stupidly I'm leather crafting and jewel crafting on this character because that was my main.
Yeah,
But I had like five other alts, so I had miners and herbalists and everything when I
right.
played. So now I'm like, I need to level up an herbalist, a miner, a fucking skinner. Like I've got a lot of work to do just to be able to feed my main.
Right. So, all right, man. Sounds like you got a plan. So,
Ah, Lord have mercy, I don't, but I appreciate you, brother. Have a great night. Happy Friday,
yeah.
Saturday morning.
You too, man. See ya.
Bye.
All right. All right. I'm gonna call that a stream. Um, so always fun to meet new people. So that's why we play this game. Anyway, I'm gonna probably stream tomorrow a little bit. I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what character I will do. I don't need to do anything in my main other than some little stuff, and I don't really want to do that until Monday. Um, and then I really don't have to do anything on my mage because, well, it's under geared anyway. So it's not like I can just jump into heroic. My mage, I can do like normals or Elfar on my mage. Maybe get a piece of tier. Don't really know, but other than that, I really don't have to do much before Tuesday. And then Tuesday hits, and then whatever maintenance they give us. Hopefully, it's not a whole lot. We can just go about it and grind, grind, grind. So a lot of Mythic Plus coming my way and your guys' way. So should be fun. So anyway, thanks for the viewership. Um, thanks for sticking with the channel. Appreciate it. Definitely subscribe, follow, ring that bell, all that things. So appreciate it as we go through this journey. At some point, I'll go through. I'll make a video probably on kind of where I'm thinking on talent trees and things like that. I'll probably do that in the next couple days. go through that. So that'll be fun, amongst other things. So I do main a paladin. I tank and do red, depending on the situation. Typically, and plus I'm tanking just because of Hughes, and then ret I typically am in raid because I like tanking raids, and it's fine, but I typically stay away from it if I can. Um, so, but it's not the be all end all. So I'd rather ret and pew pew be top of the meter. So anyway, thanks for stopping by. I will see you guys tomorrow.